Salute Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing in the Mecca as the Knicks pick up back-to-back wins over these Brooklyn Nets. Cat exploded tonight in the third, and the lead was never relinquished after that, man. Mikal Bridges, mid-range assassin, OG Anunoby, playing the best basketball of his career right now. Jalen Brunson, a quieter night, but the Knicks gritted this one out, 114 to 104. And now we look ahead to Washington tomorrow night. Hopefully we can pull off 3 straight. Let's break this thing down. Knicks Nation, welcome in to the post-game live with CT. Great to be with you. Salute to the chat. Salute replay squad. The New York Knicks took care of business, and we know these home and home series are a bit chippy, a bit tricky at times, and this one was more of the ugly one, but the Knicks defense was better tonight than the other game. The third quarter, we got control. We got some great contributions from the bench. Cameron Payne, Jericho Sims, we'll talk about him. No Huck Porty tonight, and the road ahead, we'll chop it up, fam. We'll look at the standings as well, but Mikal Bridges gets revenge on his former team tonight. And we'll look at the road ahead to tomorrow night as well, as the Knicks can pull together their first 3-game winning streak on the season. But Karl-Anthony Towns returned, and it was a big-time effort from the big cat, right? But he fell, hurt his back, and this crazy play here. And look, he toughed it out. He gritted it out. It was in foul trouble as well, but Cat was dynamic in this one, scoring and ones. He was aggressive down low, posting up. They didn't have the size, to deal with him as well. And in this emphatic block, Karl-Anthony Towns showcased a lot of fortitude today. Obviously was missing one game after the contused knee against Chicago, but Cat returned, and he didn't miss a beat tonight offensively, man. He was in his bag, moving and grooving, in the words of Clyde here. And I got to the rack and slammed it down. And we're going to talk about it, guys. It was unselfish ball movement. I like that. It was better defense as well. We controlled the third quarter and the fourth as well. So there was no cardiac tonight. I see you, Tony, Daniel, Buzzer Beater, Coach, Prezi, Big Dave in the house, getting ready to buzz tonight. How did you guys see the performance? Get your takes in, and we'll shout it out, right? I thought we got better minutes from Cameron Payne. And of course, we're going to talk about Pac-Man eating space up on defense. Pacome Dadiet has officially supplanted Matt Ryan in this rotation, right? So we're going to talk about that. That's key because Matt Ryan was just signed, got some minutes, and people weren't sure. But 2 games running now, Pacome Dadiet got in and got some healthy minutes, right, for the rookie. Who says Tibbs doesn't play any rookies, man? I don't want to hear that narrative anymore because it's just not true, and it never was true, right? If you can impact the game, Tibbs will find some minutes, but obviously Matt Ryan hasn't been playing really good defense at all, and Pacome Dadiet has taken advantage of his minutes, right? We'll talk about the Huck Porty situation. Of course, everyone was kind of, interested to see what was going to happen with Cat returning. Would Ariel Huck Porty solidify himself as that backup center? But no, Tibbs made some great quotes pre-game. We'll talk about his quotes and why he's continuing with Jericho Sims. But obviously, Jericho Sims, it wasn't a surprise to me, remain the backup for now. But obviously, we're still high and we're still excited on what the future holds for Ariel Huck Porty. And, he's going to factor in at some point in the future, maybe sooner rather than later. But Jericho played well tonight, took advantage of his minutes and was impactful late, despite some foul trouble as well. But yeah, we needed everyone. And I think we're learning as a team. We're growing as a team still. We moved to 7-6 on the season, guys. And this one was more of a gritty type performance with JB not scoring as much. You see that box score, fam. 24 points from OG, 20 from Lionheart with 45 minutes, which is insane. Give me your take on that. And 26 points from Cat, 21 points from the Bridge man as well. Our starting 5, man, is alive offensively, better defensively tonight than in the last few games, but we're just scoring effortlessly and we're getting better and better with our floor spacing tonight. But man, OG Anunoby, right? We're going to start with him when we give out the grades, right? Tony up, what's up from Puerto Rico? Salute, great to see you. Buzzer beater, hashtag vote for OG, lighting it up right now, playing the best basketball of his career. And yeah, Prezi, I hope Cat's okay with that fall. He bounced back. He got in foul trouble, so he didn't come back in. But obviously, he's going to be sore tomorrow. But I don't think it was anything major. Paula, salute. What's up? Solid win, says Big Dave, without JB carrying us. That's a great take. Yeah, we've got to learn to win games in other ways. And I think we're so dynamic offensively now. Hart's 20 points, sensational. 3 of 7. OG's 24. And Towns, obviously 10 of 16. And 15 rebounds, man, with 4 offensive. I mean, he is absolutely lighting it up, right? Pacome Dadiet's defense, this sequence is a lot to look forward to moving forward, man. Pacome Dadiet, we all saw that sequence in the second quarter where he clamped the Brooklyn Nets down. So congrats to Pacome. He's solidified himself in this rotation now. We'll see what happens when Precious Achiuwa gets back. But there's that spot for that wing, the shooting guard, the wing kind of backup spot as well. No Kolek tonight, no Hakpority, but Pac-Man, the youngest rookie, the guy that everyone wrote off and said he's a project or he's going to be in the G all season and all of that. He's supplanted every single rookie right now. So a lot of people eating their words, but Pacome Dadiet has the length, the skill set on both sides of the floor to impact the game. And 19 years old, very young, and showcased himself tonight, man. What are your thoughts on Pacome, guys? Ernest says, I have a question. How could Karl-Anthony Towns be so smart offensively and dumb defensively? He's an offensive-minded player, and I think that's one of the reasons why he hasn't anchored a defense yet in the NBA with Minnesota. But yeah, he's just got foul-prone tendencies, and he's going to have to work with our coaching staff to improve on that end. And I feel confident that we will get the best out of Karl-Anthony Towns, but he's not known and probably never will be known as a defensive type minded center, which is why the Hakpority, Sims, Precious, Mitch debate is very, very key for our chances moving forward and competing for a championship. I still don't think Karl-Anthony Towns is ideal at the 5, and defensively, our rim protection isn't where it needs to be. We all saw last game the interior defense with Ariel Hakpority, and that was solid. And obviously, it was a bit better when Jericho was in the game versus with Cat. But I mean, the man is so dynamic offensively that we can just absolutely cut teams apart, and kill them with how he's playing with 5 out. And for those that don't know, I've said this before, but my ideal plan is to play Cat at the 5, for half a game. You close with it, but throughout the game, you keep him out of foul trouble, you keep him fresh, and you play a big. That's most likely going to be Precious and Mitch very soon, but it's good to see we have a couple of reserve bigs who could also impact the game in many ways as well. Prezi says, OG is looking like you don't ever say my contract is an overpay. He looks motivated. No doubt about it. Great comment. Streets are buzzing, Brian. Unselfish basketball tonight. So let's look at the team stats and give out our first grade now as the chat's buzzing right now. Everyone smash that like button. We're going for our 3rd straight win tomorrow night, and we'll be live post-game, of course, after Washington, our final home game of this homestand before we hit the road, right? And tomorrow night's game, we're going to have a guest announcer on MSG, the one and only Jamal Crawford. News come out today. Looking forward to that. But 33 assists from the team. Ball movement was sensational, and we took advantage to move Brooklyn around in this one. Rebounding, domination on that end as well. Love the 4 steals too. And look at the turnovers. Only 6 turnovers to 33 assists. Mwah, chef's kiss. And obviously we forced Brooklyn to 10 turnovers. Solid on that end as well. Our 3-point shooting did come down a little bit, and Brooklyn were obviously shooting it well with their ball movement tonight. We did lose their man on a couple of possessions too often with their corner shooters, and that almost hurt us tonight, right? So we still have to be better tracking the corner shooters on that. but fast break points was great. You see these games, guys, where we are starting to play at a faster pace. That's key for me. And we won the second chance points as well. So I love to see that moving forward, right? I want us to play at a faster pace because Cat can get downhill. Josh Hart getting downhill as well with his 8 assists too. But the first man of the night that we're going to shout out tonight is OG Anunoby. Mister, don't talk about my contract. I want my play on the court to make the noise, fam. And OG is just playing the best ball of his career, man, right now. We saw glimpses last season. Many people felt like he's our X factor, right? And what a piece in our starting five, man. He is dominating on both ends of the floor, right? And he's playing at a physical style. He's playing at that kind of 90s physical style, post ups, driving to the lane. 40 minutes tonight. He was 9 of 17, 3 of 7 from distance, got to the foul line 5 times, gave us 8 rebounds, and 3 were offensive. A block, 24 points plus 3 for OG stuff in that stat sheet, man. I'm super happy for OG. He's playing with confidence, and the ball movement's really good. So shout out to the squad, Brunson specifically, for moving the ball. The ball moves better with Brunson, of course, than Cameron Payne, but we're going to shout out Cameron Payne later tonight with his production scoring. Little ill-advised shots at times, but he was swishing tonight, right? So Cameron Payne is going to get his grade later. But the ball movement with 10 assists for Brunson, man, and OG was the benefit of a lot of that. So New York Knicks basketball starting to resemble the team that we want to see. Dimitri, what's up? Says Huck needs minutes. Yeah, I was disappointed that he wasn't going to get that opportunity, but it's all part of the rookie season, I guess, for the young man. He's going to have to persevere through this situation where Tibbs figures out who he wants to go with. But obviously, we got, Precious Achiuwa is going to get back soon, and, I'm really looking forward to seeing this team with him. And obviously, Mitch is not going to be that far behind with January around the corner, too. So things are going to get really interesting. But the Knicks suddenly have an option, more options with their big men, right? Karl Anthony Towns, the rim protection at times is lacking. So, yeah, I would prefer to play Huck Porty right now. 100% agree on that note. But Jericho played really well tonight, and he's, still doing the things that Tibbs wants to see. And we'll talk about Tibbs's quotes coming up in a minute. But the grade for OG Anunoby, man, first up. Also, before we give out his grade, I'm going to pull up a game ball for Mr. OG Anunoby. The one half of Wingstop, man, he was all over the court tonight and aggressive. I love to see the confidence that OG's playing with, man. It's excellent, and he's in playoff form right now. He really is in playoff form, right? So my grade for OG Anunoby tonight, stuffing that stat sheet, right? He's going to get A+ tonight, the first A+ of the night. OG Anunoby, back-to-back wins, and he's in all-star form, man, all NBA, and he's also playing all NBA defense, and he's playing like a defensive player of the year form right now. Joe Curry says OG team MVP. Agree with that to start the season. Who would have thought that? Paula says I give OG an A+ because of his all-round game. And same with Buzzer, going with an A for an awesome all-around game. I see you guys. Salute. Ernest says, so Tibbs put Huck Porty right back on the bench, huh? Unbelievable. Yeah, he's going with that situation right now, and I feel like it's simply out of loyalty, I feel like, and hierarchy with Jericho being here longer. But it was surprising for me. Jay Giant says, let's go, baby. Troy says, OG A+, a difference maker. Soul Scorch says, Huck Porty needs to play. Right. We're not going to make this all about Huck Porty because Sims had a good game. But yeah, it wasn't a surprise to me, fam. It really honestly wasn't. The big surprise to me was, and I keep saying it, the Cleveland game. The Cleveland game was when Huck Porty got in, played well, and then went straight back to the bench. And so the other game was basically a product of Cat being out, the last Brooklyn game. And Cat came back tonight, obviously, so we got the win. But yeah, Huck Porty's going to get his time, man. His time will come. I think we all just need to be a bit patient with it, right? We take the wins. If we lose, yeah, we're going to talk a bit more about the rotation and things like that. But we won the ball game. Jericho played a solid game tonight. But yeah, I think most of us agree Huck Porty is an option that deserves, a longer stretch to be looked at, right? But as we relive the thrills tonight, man, OG Anunoby was dynamite, right? Continues to score 20 plus as well, playing unselfish, 8 rebounds too. So I don't think our rebounding is really right now. I think our rebounding has really gone to another level as we out rebounded Brooklyn once again with our, gang rebounding as a team and pace, pushing the ball up the court as well at a faster pace. But OG always been super efficient, and the 3-point ball has been consistent as ever. So he's built on what he achieved last season, and he's taken it to the next level, I think, for this season as well. Would have loved him to get an assist, but he was on the end of a lot of cuts as well, and just doing the things that you love to see out there, guys. So the Knicks pick up their big win, and I'll continue to shout you guys out and rock out with the best chat in the biz tonight, man. The Knicks pick up back-to-back wins. It was a little on the gritty side, but you can't do it all, man. It can't always be pretty. Demario says, go Knicks. What's up? Salute. Now let's move along, man. Let's talk about Josh Hart tonight. 20 points, hit some big threes, 3 of 7 from the Lion Hart tonight. So let's dial up Hart's grade, right? 8 of 13. Man, I love his energy pushing the break. 8 assists, 8 rebounds, 20 points, and a +8, right? He deserves huge props tonight, does Lion Hart. For me, man. 45 minutes, though. We're going to talk about Tibbs after we're giving out the starters grades. But what do you think? Josh Hart, second MVP of the season, third. I think Cat's obviously made a huge impact since finding his rhythm. But Mikal Bridges has come alive with his mid-range too. And I really think this starting five is starting to find its groove. Has found its groove offensively. Defensively, still got some things to work out. But again, I really feel like that rim protector next to Cat would be ideal. And you possibly push Hart to the bench. But Hart's still showing why he's so valuable as a starter. And, he's a Mr. Do-It-All. And I love his 20 points. I love his ability to get everyone else involved. So the 20 points and the 3 of 7 is big time, right? Notice he didn't hesitate much tonight. He was dishing, he was swishing, and when he was open, he was firing at will. And yes, he did end up with a couple of late shot clock shots as well, which, he seems to be in a better spot when he does get those late shot clock shots for me. But Hart's going to get an A, and 8 assists, 8 rebounds, sensational, 20 points. His hustle on Cam Thomas was big. Yeah, the Huck Hive's growing, fam. I mean, definitely, the Knicks hit on that one, and I think that's the biggest story, to get, a quality player out of the 58th pick. That's a piece moving forward. I think that's going to be dynamite for the New York Knicks, especially with our cap situation. It's so critical. And then obviously when Mitch gets back, he's going to be super dynamic as well, next to Cat, like Rudy Gobert was too. So we're really starting to showcase some grittiness that we haven't really seen in the first few games of the season. But it's all about performing on our home floor. Protect the garden, man. If we can just pick up these wins at MSG, it's going to relieve a lot of the pressure to, when we do hit the road as well. And we're going to talk about this big road trip coming up. Johnny Davis says, I'm really liking Campaign. Yeah, huge minutes from Campaign. 9 points tonight. We needed that with no deuce as well. Antonio says, good game today. Starter minutes. Too high, though. Yeah, I think for Hart, a bit too high. No doubt about it. 45 minutes is this early in the season is tough. Obviously I would have preferred Cat to just sit out the rest of the game after he took this fall with I think it was about 7 to 8 minutes remaining, but he ended up picking up another foul and had to sit out, right, as Jericho came in and gave us some good minutes late. But Cat went to work, man. He was driving and he was thriving, right? So let's talk about Cat up right now. What do you guys liking? What do you guys see with Karl Anthony Towns, right? Return, and obviously this game was a lot easier than the last game. Brunson didn't have it going, scoring wise tonight. But Cat was dynamite. 10 of 16, 1 of 3, though didn't get many 3-pointers up, but was 5 of 5 from the free throw. And 15 bounds with 4 offensive, 6 assists from the big man, 5 fouls, 26 points, and a team best plus 14 for the Bodega Cat, right? 10 of 16 from the field, man, you lap that up. But he was aggressive getting to the line. He wasn't just settling for those threes. So, yeah, I do want Cat to shoot more threes, but being 1 of 3, right, but being 10 of 16 and 5 of 5 from the free throw lets me know that he's not settling, and he's getting guys in foul trouble by getting to the rack. And tonight that was his domination, because they had Dorian Finney-Smith and they had an undersized center with no Claxton tonight. So that is really big that Cat, doesn't just fall in love with the three as well. In the flow of the offense, he was getting to the line and aggressive, right? So, yeah, I mean, we don't win this ball game without Cat, but obviously there was the foul trouble too, which he has to get better at. There's no doubt about it. So, with that said, I'm going to dial up Cat's grade right now. You guys let me know what you saw from Cat tonight. He gets an A-, right? Dynamic, offensive, 5 fouls though. He's got to be better. He's got to be better at moving his feet and not fouling with his hands and his hips, like Clyde pointed out really well tonight. But I mean, we're moving and grooving offensively now, and we're going to be hard to stop. We're going to be really, really hard to stop. Brian says Cat is having the best season of his career right now, A+. And DN says Knicks have an advantage at the 5 nearly 9 times out of 10 with Cat. Yeah, I agree. Great points. We're going to talk about Pacome as well. Jazzman. Dadiet was solid tonight. Big Dave's gone the A+ for OG as well. We've got lots of flowers coming through for OG, Knicks Nation. And Buzzer Beater's gone with an A for Cat with foul trouble, but played well. Yeah. I think that will improve as well. That's another reason why Cat best position with the New York Knicks might not be the 5 for the whole game, because he's going to be less foul prone when he's playing the 4, in my opinion. Having to get him to do a lot, score, defend the paint, and do everything, it's going to exert a lot of energy for Cat. So, look, right now, I would start Jericho next to him personally, or Huckporty, and then bring the other big off the bench. And then when Precious is back, straight into the starting lineup. And then when Mitch is back, same thing. I want to get a look at that. I want to get a look at Cat playing some 4 with better rim protection, because I think our offense will still be really good, but our defense is going to be a bit better, and hopefully much better. And then we're going to stop a lot of drives, and easy buckets that we give up, scrambling with with our defensive rotations. And obviously the less fouls that Cat picks up, the less he has to sit in games. And it did disrupt the flow of tonight's game offensively when Cat went out. It was very laborious to get easy buckets because Brunson didn't have it going at times, and it was a little bit interrupted. But Luke C says the great passing machine that Cat is that's a great point as well, because to me, that's the most surprising part of Cat's game. 6 assists tonight. I mean, 15 rebounds. And by the way, Cat was double-double with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. He already had like 11 points, 10 rebounds halfway through the second, which is phenomenal. But still gives you 6 assists and a plus 14 as well. So, Defense not as bad as some people say, but obviously the foul. I think the fouling is something that is really going to be something to watch, right, with Karl Anthony Towns, and something that we have to do better at with our rotations as well. So pleasing team effort from the starting five tonight, right, as we move towards Mikal Bridges. Let's shout out the Bridge man. 2 good games against his former teams, man. 44 minutes, 9 of 18, and 3 of 10. So I didn't have it going from distance, but was excellent in the midi as well. Been an assassin. 6 rebounds, which is good because I've been wanting to see more rebounds from Mikal Bridges. He gave us 2 offensive boards tonight, and he was 21 points and a plus 16. He was team high, was Mikal Bridges. So better defensively tonight, no doubt about it. And 21 points. Yeah, he scores so effortlessly, and it's a pleasure to watch Bridges operate because he can dribble, with the closeout. He gets to the foul line extended, and that little mid range is just money, like DeMar DeRozan-esque type. And that's what you want to see moving forward, not just settling for the 3. But he's been really good in the corner threes too. He's been really, really good in the corner threes, has Mikal Bridges, and the mid range. So I'll take it. 9 of 18. Again, stuffing the stat sheet from Mikal Bridges. But defensively, he's still got ways to go, right? I think, yeah, there could be a mixture of him being slightly overrated defensively versus what we all expected, right? With our expectations being really high. But obviously, as a team with an anchor at the 5, I think that is going to help everyone out better. He is getting more experience with these guys too, and I think that just the natural chemistry of these starting 5 playing more together will showcase in our defense improving. But look, our offense, he's a dynamic part of that now, scoring 20 plus points with ease. So yeah, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Mikal Bridges. And with that said, man, let me dial up his grade right now. He's also going to get an A minus. Is Mikal Bridges, man, really, really solid tonight. And we had enough to put Brooklyn away early and make this one easier down the stretch. Luke C says Bridges is finally finding his place on the team. A++. Big time. Paula says Bridges gets a B+. And Antonio says Mikal killed it. David says, yeah, this team is looking like it's coming together. I said 10 games. It's looking good. Great to see that. He's a little chirpy, says DN, to opposing teams. That's his moxie, yeah. He does like getting in the grill of the other teams. But yeah, AP, I see you about Cleveland. You've asked me that a few times already. But Cleveland, I'm not moved by the regular season. I'm really not. I'm no more moved if they were 5-0 versus 14-0. It's just a product of they're in a good rhythm right now, and they are one of the best teams in the East. But Cleveland, I'm not worried about them yet come postseason. That's just my personal opinion. I think styles make fights, and if you bring Mitchell Robinson into this lineup with Cat, with the Twin Towers, and our wings can slow down Garland and Spider on the perimeter, and we can match up with them on size, I think Cleveland's not really going to worry us too much. And look, ironically, we were the team out of their 14 wins. We were probably the team with the best chance of winning against them. We were up 13 points in that game. Yeah, I tip my cap to Cleveland, though. They are definitely a really, really good team, well-coached team right now. As we talk about Brunson, Tibbs, and then let's talk about Pacome Dadiet and our bench tonight, fam. You're rocking out and buzzing in the chat. Smash that like button. Right, let's talk about the captain. What did you guys see? Look, the pleasing thing first, 34 minutes, didn't get overplayed tonight, right? Was mixing it up, was definitely, being very physical on defense as well as offense, driving, trying to take advantage of that mismatch with Schroeder. He was 6 of 8. Although, man, Tony Brothers, the referees were really inconsistent tonight. You know, they would call ticky-tack stuff and then they wouldn't call that physicality on JB. And that was frustrating. But Brunson battled through that. He persevered. Gave us 6 of 8 from the free throw. 3 of 14, though. Just didn't have it going from distance either. But gave us 10 rebounds. Gave us 10 assists, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals. JB with 12 points minus 1. I guess the biggest sign of growth from last season now, guys, is that we win a game like this comfortably off a down night from Jalen Brunson. And to me, I take that as a positive, because you're not gonna hope or need Jalen Brunson to rescue you every single night. And he saved us last game, but tonight he didn't need to save us, because we had OG, we had Cat, we had Bridgeman, and we had Hart rocking out too. So that's key, and our guys had his back. You know, but with that said, Brunson was definitely stuffing the stat sheet and did a lot of other good things, despite, you know, battling through getting hit a lot. And, you know, Brooklyn were hacking and whacking. So I'm going to give JB, the captain, a B for tonight, man, as I pull up the referees, and we're going to talk about Tibbs right now. But Tony Brothers, man, on the officiating, another long game, another frustrating back and forth with challenge calls. Jordy Fernandez, man, he knows how to get under your skin. Does this Brooklyn Nets squad, right? So let me change it up, because they weren't as bad as the last game, but they were very, very bad tonight. So I'm going to go a D for these officials tonight, man. Tony Brothers and the crew get a D for me tonight, man. Far too inconsistent, and we're very frustrating. Our guys continue to get hit and fall down and battle through it, and a lot of the contact doesn't get called as well. And there were some late calls for Brooklyn tonight. Next up, we talk about Tibbs, right? Let's talk about Tom Thibodeau, because he definitely changed things up. Huck Porty in the rotation last game, really good game, and you know the fan base was buzzing to see more. But obviously he's stuck with Jericho Sims, but he brings in Pacome Dadiet now for the second consecutive game too. Cameron Payne is back, so you know, that continues to work out for us off the bench. But in terms of the minutes tonight, Hart played way too many minutes, and so did Bridges, for my liking. 45, no reason to play Hart 45. I mean, get Dadiet in there some more. And there was a rotation, a substitution, where Dadiet was set to come in for Hart, and Hart said something. He sent Dadiet back to the bench. He said, "Tibbs, I'm not coming out." You guys see that? That was crazy. With Dadiet set to come in, and Hart rejected the substitution, which appeared to be that way as well. That's the way I was reading it. But look, 45 minutes this early in the season, Tibbs, we need to go easier on these guys, and especially Bridges. I know he's durable, but you got to do better, Tibbs, on that front, right? We've got the depth. We've got some guys out there. No need to play Hart 45, man. He's so important to our team. And so, yeah, you know, Tibbs is going to get his grade right now for that. But the tick for the Dadiet, I love that move, you know, and I'm really liking Dadiet in the rotation now, but I'm not liking some of the other decisions as well. So for me, Tibbs is going to get a C+, right? We got the back-to-back wins, but some questionable decisions, I think, with that in mind. That's my opinion. I'd love to get your thoughts on it. DN says 45 minutes for Mikal, Hart AR's 46. Isn't great, man. It ain't. Troy says Knicks can't get a call on their home court. Yeah, it's these awful referees. It really is. They're just always siding with the opponent. No matter where we play, whether it's in Houston, whether it's in Atlanta. Paula goes D for dreadful for these referees too. Johnny Davis is odd, but this team's starting to figure out continuity. Will be interesting when others come back. they might be on the bench. When we do get more healthy, there's going to be some healthy headaches. I'm talking about even later down the track when assumingly Landry Shamet or, TJ Warren or someone else comes on board as well. That could potentially take Dadiet's minutes moving forward. But as we shift to the bench right now, let's talk about Pacome Dadiet and the spark that Cameron Payne gave us. The guys love to play, man. I mean, who wouldn't want to come off the garden floor? You want to keep playing. J.I. says, not into Tibbs, never have been, no Huck Porty. He's a strange coach. Yeah, we'll talk about his quotes because they were eyebrow raising. But basically, in a nutshell, I'll summarize it. He said he likes what Sims provides. Data wise, we are better defensively, or whatever he said about that. And then he also said, I really like Ariel Huck Porty as well, and he gave us great minutes as well. So I feel like he's torn right now. I feel like he just likes what both provide, and he's just simply going with the experienced player. But I feel like at least, maybe a small victory, guys, is that if we are losing a game and Sims is struggling in game heavily, it does look like he's got no hesitation putting Huck Porty out there. I think he's just giving that first chance still to Jericho Sims. And tonight, Jericho was solid. So we'll see how that works out long term. But I'll take the small victory right now with Dadiet, being in this rotation. And before we give out Dadiet's grade, I'm going to bring up the play of the night, right, for Pacome Dadiet. And it was special, man. It was special. So here he is on the perimeter, right? Moves his feet well, stops the drive, and then stops another drive. Stops the third one, contests the shot. No bueno, man, not in our house. Pacome Dadiet really showcasing, his potential as a player in this league, as a defensive stopper with his length, right? He's 6'8", 6'9", reportedly, but he's got length. You see, he's longer than Matt Ryan, and obviously he's longer than a Landry Shamet as well. So if he takes advantage of this early opportunity, it might not be no one's supplanting Pacome Dadiet, and I like it, man. 19, he brings that youthfulness, but the shooting isn't hurting us either. David says it's not just performance, it's political too. And Tibbs does a nice job handling both. He certainly knows what to say, and I think he's doing his best to keep all the guys ready, but it's super early in the season. Paula says, I like Dadiet. I like his defense. I give him an A. A B for him being so young. Troy says, Dadiet, I've never seen a player make such improvements in all aspects of his game in a matter of months. Yeah, Troy, I said something to a similar effect. And this was, I think, pre-season or even after opening night in Boston when Pacome played. I said, one of the advantages to giving rookies minutes early is that they're going to benefit as the season goes along. But if you keep burying rookies on the bench, it's going to bury their confidence. And when you need them later in the season, they're not going to be in a better position than if you give them minutes early. And so there's a great case to make for getting these guys minutes early. And look, we've seen a healthy sample of Tyler Kolek. We've seen a very healthy sample of Pacome Dadiet now. And obviously we've seen a sample of Ariel Huck Porty, all of our rookies, except, Kevin McCullough, who, by the way, I feel like I've said this before, I feel like Kevin McCullough has the potential to be a bigger fan favorite as well once we, hopefully get a look at him sooner rather than later, because he's a defensive wing as well, kind of the Josh Hart kind of mold too. Johnny says, Pacome advanced courses Dadiet. I think the shooting is something that Tibbs really likes as well. It's one thing to have length and ability to move your feet like Dadiet here, but the ability to space the floor out as well in the same player is big time. So yeah, it's a significant advancement for him to supplant Matt Ryan, in my opinion. And look, it's another feather in Leon Rose, Walt Perrin's cap with the draft picks, fam. It's another feather in the cap for our scouts as well, and for Dadiet for taking this opportunity. And like the chat said, he's raised his game in a small period of time, man. So Dadiet was 0 of 2 tonight, but played really good defense. Gave us an assist, a rebound. Was a +9 in his minutes with just 2 fouls. So yeah, I mean the box score is not going to show it, but yeah, he held his own tonight and definitely showed some development and growth in a short sample as well. So with that said, man, I'm gonna go a B for Pac-Man. He was eating up space tonight, and look, he looks like he belongs, and I hope that he continues to stay in the rotation. I think the shooting will get better as well with the confidence. Yeah, and tonight I think defensively he showed that. Probably behind Ariel Hukporti, he's our second best defensive rookie, and obviously Tyler Kolek is more advanced in the playmaking, but defensively he has struggles with his size out there. But to have two of our rookies already, you know, being disruptive defensively is great, and a huge win for this team moving forward. We need to see more of him, right? Because if you think about it, yeah, Matt Ryan does shoot, right? He's a shooter and he spaces the floor out. But what else does he do? Tibbs has probably looked at film and in practice as well. And he's probably looked at like, okay, Dadiet can space the floor out and shoot it anyway, and he can defend better than Matt Ryan. So that could be the rationale behind him. Appreciate it, AP. Love your thoughts and contributions to this one. You guys are buzzing right now. Ernest says, I don't think Brunson is concerned anymore about getting 30 points. He sees that he doesn't need to. Yeah, great point. I think it's about breaking down the defense because he still looks really aggressive driving, but he doesn't always, need to pull up for that floater. He can kick it back out as well. David says, are they trying to build Sims' value up? I just think Tibbs is not trying to crush his confidence, and obviously supplanting him right away early in the season with Hukporti would definitely be a blow to his confidence. I think he's trying to see if Sims can elevate his play through trust and all of that, and I think tonight he played better. So we're going to talk about him in a minute, but let's talk about Cameron Payne, because once Payne got back, our bench should definitely look stronger. And I gave him his criticism after the last Brooklyn game, because he almost shot us out of it. But Cameron Payne was big tonight, man. 3 of 7 in 16 minutes. And, the shot making from distance is huge. But 6 assists, I see you, Cameron Payne. That's a bit of everything, playmaking and floor spacing. And 9 points +5 as well. So big shout out to Cameron Payne for the 6 assists and the 9 points tonight, man, in 16 minutes. I mean, our bench would look so thin without him right now, and obviously Kolek has been a little inconsistent, but he can't really provide that level of scoring yet, but better playmaking. But you need a dog, a defensive, a playmaking, a scoring guard off the bench like Cameron Payne, right? So with that said, I'm going to give Cameron Payne his flowers tonight, right? He deserves an A, for me. Probably his best game as a New York Knick. I think for Cameron Payne, he gets an A. El Tango Salute says, I agree with you. We must give the Rooks some burn. How else will we maximize their value? Yeah, maximize confidence and also just integrate them with the team and chemistry. Should there be an injury or we need them in the postseason later, they're going to benefit from seeing real minutes right now. And obviously injuries, you don't want that to happen. But with Precious and Mitch out, that's given Hukporti a chance to show what he can actually do. If Precious was never out and Mitch, people wouldn't have got to see what a Ariel Hukporti can do. But now we've seen it, and now Tibbs trusts him to a certain level, right? As we move to the Sims Hukporti chat and conversation right now, and Sims had a great impact in that fourth quarter tonight, Going to give him his flowers. But to the quotes, according to Ian Begley, Tibbs was asked what he saw from Ariel on Friday. He said some good things, some things that obviously we can do better. Overall, the energy was good. We've just got to make sure we're executing and not to get overzealous when you're opening things up. I have a feeling he was talking about that jump shot, because apparently Tibbs wasn't a fan when Ariel took that mid-range jump shot, but he does like what he was doing. But I'd rather have the problem of high energy than trying to get the guy going. Overall, I think he's done a really good job. I like him a lot. When you look at rim protection, I think Jericho has done a really good job for us as well. Right. Tibbs was later asked if Hukporti had done enough to move up in the rotation, and Tibbs says, there's a lot more to it. It's how team functions. When you're talking about defensive field goal percentage in the restricted, Jericho is very, very high. So being able to execute, so we need both of those guys to be able to play well, contribute. He's being political there, man. So we need both guys, he said. And whoever is going to be better with that group is going to play a little more. But Jericho has done a good job for us. Hukporti has done a good job. You need everybody. Right. So that's telling. What do you guys make of what Tibbs is saying with this situation? I think he's being political. Like I said, he wants to bring Hukporti along slower because he's a rookie, but he also doesn't want to kill Sims' confidence by taking him out. But at some point, as a coach, you just got to make that hard decision, right? And just tell the guy to stay ready and make that adjustment too. So we're going to continue to move along and give out the grades for the rest of the team with Jericho, Sims. But the New York Knicks, man, back-to-back wins. Very, very important back-to-back wins now. We're starting to build our cohesion and our chemistry. And our starting five is looking really good, man. I'm not going to lie. I like our starting five offensively. And obviously we're going to get even better with our shot selection, I think. But the 33 assists tonight, man, sharing is caring as the Knicks highlights come up now. DN says, just don't totally freeze out Huck just to play Sims. Yeah, I mean, if it was up to me, as I said, I would start one of them next to Cat and play the other one as a backup. And then obviously do the same when Precious is healthy. Because Precious has deserved that, that next billing. But I think, with Cat, his versatility, it does open things up. But I don't want Cat to play the 5 the whole game. I think foul trouble is something that we're going to constantly see, like we saw tonight. And centers are going to go at Cat to try to get him in foul trouble as well and exert him and his energy on that side of the floor. And so, yeah, we need that guy to play with force down low. We need a Hukporti, Sims, kind of a guy that's going to be physical, Precious and Mitch, and, the way Isaiah Hartenstein used to play. We need that type of center next to Cat, in my opinion, for the defense to get to the best that it can be and be a deterrent. AP says Ben Simmons doesn't shoot at all. Ben Simmons was really hurting them tonight, man. As you see, he drives it all the way in and then pulls it back out. I mean, that was crazy. That was crazy. But yeah, they got shooters, and we did pay the price a little bit, but we did learn some lessons from the previous game, right? So let's talk about Jericho, right? He was a standout in that fourth quarter with the big alley-oop, courtesy of Josh Hart, and then he blocked Dennis Schroeder on a nice drive, a blow-by, and he stuck with it. Jericho got 1 of 1 with the dunk, 4 rebounds, 2 points, -4 for Jericho Sims. So I think he did some good things late in this ball game. Early on, he was very, unimpactful. I think, to be honest, I think the fourth quarter was his best moment. And that, is it enough to supplant Hukporti permanently? I don't think Tibbs has really settled on anything, long term yet. I think once Precious is back, Sims could be out of the rotation as well, completely. But Tibbs does look at practice, guys. He does say, whoever's playing well in practice usually plays well. So that could be a determining factor, in terms of what we see, right? But with that said, I think just a solid game, especially late for Jericho. I'm going to go a C plus, but I think we can obviously get more out of that position in terms of rim protection, and and just seeing these guys be super consistent, because right now we are a little too loose with guys getting into the lane, fouling, and then having to scramble and close out on those shooters. So yeah, Tibbs continues with this 8-man rotation. I would prefer a 9-man personally, but as we pick up wins, it is what it is right now. I think he's overplaying some guys, and ideally, if Landry Shamet was healthy, he'd probably be that 9th guy. He'd play Kolek right now. I could see why he's out of the rotation a little bit. Payne is giving us what we need tonight. But I'm glad, obviously, Dadiet's in. When McBride comes back healthy, hopefully he stays at 9 and keeps Dadiet in. That's what I would love to see. Deuce get back and keep Dadiet in the rotation. Al Tango says, yeah, the Sims experiment should be over 4 years and you still can't execute any offensive sets. I think he's limited on that side of the floor, and obviously Huck Porty's more of a two-way guy. But yeah, it's not losing us the ball game right now. We'll see what happens when we do play these tougher teams moving forward. But yeah, I agree with Paula. Sims was better later on in the game. David says Tibbs does his best work in practice. Yep, he does love practice, man. He really looks into that. David M says when Mitch and Precious are back, they won't see the court again. We don't know, we'll see, because, Sims, Mitch could be out for quite a while still. It could be mid-January, it could be even later. There's going to be plenty of opportunities for these guys with foul trouble, with Cat as well. Yeah, it's a luxury that we have, having a couple of bigs that we can trust. But yeah, the way Cat's playing offensively is just amazing too. So we are now 7-6, finally back above 500, and hopefully we don't ever go back below 500 for the rest of the season now. We put the pedal to the metal, and I'm going to bring up the standings, and we're going to talk about the road ahead too. So let's bring this baby up. As the New York Knicks now basically half a game behind Orlando at a 3rd seed. Detroit picked up a win. Right, they are 7-8 in 5th as well. Their rookies starting to gel. But one of the reasons why you can't just sneeze over these wins over Brooklyn is look at Brooklyn. They're better than Chicago right now, who beat us. They're better than Milwaukee, Philly, and the Raptors. They're a better coach team. They don't have as much talent, of course, but they play hard and they played smart for the most part. They got the shooters. They exploited the gravity that Cameron Thomas has. But basically, I think they're a better team than they were last season. So to get back-to-back wins over them, I'll take it. And we've got to continue to build chemistry and consistency with our squad. But we are looking deadly on the offensive side, right? And then Cleveland pick up their 15th win, man, well ahead of Boston. And obviously we are moving up. I think we will get that 3rd seed soon. Orlando's without Paolo Banchero for like another 4 weeks at least, right? So we have that chance as we play Washington tomorrow night, and then we play Phoenix, Utah, the Nuggets, and the Mavs, man, on the road. So if we could split that road trip, I won't be mad, man. Beat Utah, beat Dallas, beat Denver. I think the Phoenix one probably be the toughest, but I think we can beat Utah, Denver, and Dallas. I really do. But let's see how it plays out tomorrow night, man. 2nd of a back-to-back. Does Tibbs expand the rotation? David says, man, 4 guys with 20 points or more, and Brunson is not one of them. We are stacked. Great point. Great point. I love the ball movement tonight. 33 assists. That's how we should always play. Get the shooters, space everybody out. But I think OG is just playing on another level right now. So Miami continue to struggle. The Pacers picked up a win over the Heat. We've got the Timberwolves scrape by with a Julius Randle buzzer beater tonight, man. Huge props to Jew for the buzzer beater tonight. Our opponent for tomorrow night, Washington, have just gone down to the Pistons by 20 points, man. So tomorrow should be a good test in terms of us seeing whether we can, put them away early and put the beat down on Washington, right? LaMelo Ball, been in the news, got fined $100K for his comments. Cleveland beat them down 15-0. We've got the Oklahoma Thunder, man, losing in this one. No iHeart for another few more weeks. Man, Chicago got absolutely blown away too. And of course, our New York Knicks put the Brooklyn Nets away in this home and home series now. We need to take care of our food tomorrow night, man, with Cat 26 and 15 and 6. Incredible, man, stuff in the stat sheet. As I bring up the highlights now, man. So the Knicks stay in basically 4th, but we're inching closer to that 3rd seed. But it's really early to, be looking at the standings. I just want us to, get on a run. Let's just get consistency and get on a run, as I think Precious will be back pretty soon. And, Dadiet is looking more confident now. And we'll see if Cat, Brunson, and Bridges continue, and OG continue their scoring explosion right now. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Cameron Payne. That was a nice dime. We're really missing Miles McBride too. It's crazy to think, but I forgot about him tonight. Not gonna lie. I mean, Cameron Payne with 9.6 assists. We didn't even miss Deuce tonight. But yeah, look forward to him returning, because he's another 15 points off this bench with lockdown defense too. As Brunson got his mid-range going a little bit in this one. Brian says, my take on Kolek, the more JB plays like a distributing point guard, the less I worry about JB going down. We can plug and play and run through Cat. We can definitely run it through a lot of guys. Yeah, OG. I think we've seen what Bridges can do as well. When you focus on him as the 3rd scorer, 4th scorer sometimes, obviously with OG, being a surprise. And look, he's an X factor, OG Anunoby, there's no doubt about it. He's playing the best on both sides of the floor. And he's just a guy we can't afford to be without. But Hart's been excellent this season, I must admit. Josh Hart, for a guy who said he was lost during the preseason, now we're seeing a level of play that Hart is like basically at least last year's Hart, or even another notch up. That's gravy, man, early in the season. So big shout out to Lionheart for finding his rhythm and finding his game as this in this young part of the season already. And his distributing is huge for the other guys. So that doesn't go unnoticed. For the other guys to find their open shots like OG, for Bridges to get open looks, Hart is the guy that's really pushing the break and helping that ball move as well. But tonight he was swishing, which is great. Brian says Hart is one of a kind, to be honest, and AP says Hart has been solid. He is such a unique player, man. He can be maddening at times, no doubt about it. Leaves his feet, some sloppy turnovers, but he plays with that edge. He plays with confidence, and we really need that with Dante no longer here. Because Dante was very similar. He played with that kind of force, that edge, with playing at a fast speed, getting the ball up the court, getting in guys' face, all of those things as well. But Hart just take on another importance on this team too. And look, Bridges' release is super quick, and so is Cat's playmaking, man. Like the ball movement was sexy tonight, right? It was great. 33 assists, lighting people up. DN says, can Hart keep this up all season? even the scoring, if that drops a bit, the rebounding, is going to be there always, and that he's always going to provide those assists as well. Uh, I think the best thing about Hart is just keep him fresh. 45 minutes tonight. Unfortunately, that's why I give Tibbs a C plus. You got to keep Hart fresh, 35 minutes max, just to keep him at his optimal, strength. Um, but look, it is young in the season. I get it. It is young in the season, right? Picking up wins is important. It really is. But yeah, Dante's been struggling with Minnesota. I know you guys have been keeping track as well as I have. Um, with that said, right, our part of the big trade, Karl Anthony Towns, is hustling and muscling his way to the best start of his career right now. I mean, he's going to be first team All NBA at this rate. Man, I mean, those numbers are insane, man. 26, 15, and 6. I mean, my God, he is our best player offensively. He's just surpassed Jalen Brunson, right? No doubt about it. And to your point, guys, Brunson doesn't have to be that guy right now. He doesn't have to be that guy to score 30 a night anymore. Now, we've got more options. Basically, Bridges can score, similar numbers to Randall. OG can score similar numbers to what Brunson did last season. And then obviously you got Cat to come in with his extra production now as well. I mean, we could be looking at not 80 to 100 points a night from all of our starters, which is crazy. And then obviously you strengthen our bench. You get Landry Shamet. You maybe get a trade later. TJ Warren on the roster. You got Dadiet, Campaign, and Deuce McBride. Those guys. You're really going to start to see our bench be more productive, with scoring as well. And obviously there's going to be some injuries along the way, and guys can step up with Ariel Hukporti, Kolek, and look, yeah, the forgotten man, which is Kevin McCullough, because everyone's hyped about Dadiet, Hukporti, like what they see with Kolek. But Kevin McCullough was one of the most NBA ready pickups out of all of our guys. He was a star in college for Kansas in his role. He was like a Hart, 15 points a night with 10 rebounds, lockdown defense. I hope he can get healthy. I don't know what's up with Kevin McCullough at the moment. We're not getting very good reporting on it. I wish we'd got some clarity on it, because based on what I know, he was one of the most NBA ready pickups that we got. He's 6'6", you could throw him out there and defend at all 3 guard spots, at the wing spot as well. So we're going to get even stronger with health, but let's keep building, man. Let's keep building. Let's keep buzzing. 7 and 6. Yeah, got to stay healthy. Got to put away these teams. Tomorrow night's going to be a good test. Washington, they're a horrible team right now. They're losing. They're struggling. They are at 2-10, worst in the East. Got blown out by 20 points tonight by the Pistons on their home floor, and tonight they have to get on a plane or get on a train and travel to the Mecca, man. Another game at MSG, and we should, hopefully comfortably put them away early so that guys can come in. David says Huck physicality looks like a young, healthy Embiid, but obviously not the skill, but the physique. Yeah, a hybrid of that. Slash, I think he's a kind of like a Montrezl Harrell, like a real physical guy that loves to mix it up. Julius Randle type down low. He's a real throwback. He's a real throwback. Brian says in a Devo interview, he said he was in the best shape of his life at the last game of the season last year, and he never felt overplayed. David says Dante said playing heavy minutes helped him build more tolerance. Hart will be fine. Yeah, that's true. You are building up good tolerance early in the season. I just hope that the stretch doesn't continue with these guys playing as much as they are, because I do think we have help, and we see it now. Yeah, we have it. We have the help with Pacome Dadiet. And yeah, London, I did hear what LaMelo Ball said I did hear what he said. Yeah, some people talking about his media training or lack of media training and stuff like that. But yeah, 100K fine for LaMelo and that situation, right? Veteran leadership is very important on these teams. It really is. Um, we got, yeah, Jericho Sims's ability to move his feet on the perimeter is better than Hukporti, but Hukporti's paint presence, length, and rim protection is better. So that, yeah, they do offer different things, but on the offensive side, it's night and day. Hukporti is far more, developed offensively to be able to help the team as well. But yeah, I feel like Tibbs is caught in the middle, and we'll see what happens. As guys got to continue to perform, otherwise someone will take their spot. Um, you know, Basically, LaMelo Ball said he said a quote something like, "We loaded up." He was asked in an interview, "How did you get it done on that final play?" And he said something like, "We loaded up, no homo." And so he got fined 100K for those remarks, fam, by the NBA. Yeah, that's neither here nor there for me, right? In terms of the Charlotte Hornets, right? We'll see them later, but the New York Knicks take care of their business, man, against their cross-city rival. We've been buzzing tonight. We gave out the game ball to Mr. OG Anunoby, who's playing the best ball of his career. A+ game tonight on both sides of the floor, man, looking like baby Kawhi or prime Kawhi. On that note, man, Karl Anthony Towns continues to be a threat offensively. Mikal Bridges coming along nicely on the offensive side. And I think the New York Knicks just got to get their defense better, and we're going to start rolling. I mean rolling teams once we get our defense better. Maybe a lineup adjustment with another big next to Cat. We'll see what Tibbs has got up his sleeve, fam. But great to get your thoughts tonight, guys. Appreciate you. Smash that like button, and we'll see you tomorrow night against Washington. Hopefully we go 8-6 and keep buzzing, fam. Peace.